जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Ruturaj Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
We literally just finished last night's show, changed our jackets, and sat right back down here because that's how committed we are to entertaining you. I've got this coffee, which I'm going to throw in my face in just a second so I can wake up. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. I'm talking softly because I'm not sure that Shaun Pollock is awake. I don't want to wake him. Are you awake?
I'm awake.
All right.
Where were you in the gym? I was there. I was putting them in the hours.
I was right there taking a nap behind the lat machine. Just looked behind there. I rolled up the yoga mat and I was using it as a pillow.
Okay.
Best workout ever, I gotta tell you. And we also have Lisa Sthalekar, who is wide awake.
Fresh as a daisy. Bad luck, guys.
You know, I'll tell you what has happened. Actually, Joy was supposed to be on this show, but he's still asleep. Lisa was walking around the office looking for samosas and Gujarati snacks. And we're like, could you just come up here, please? How were the samosas? How was the dhokla? What all did you find?
Oh, it's amazing. Actually, I'm so keen. I might go back in the next day or two and bring a few little snacks in for everyone. If everyone behaves themselves, they'll get little treats.
That means no one's getting anything. You've seen these people. Do you think they're capable of behaving themselves? Oh, no. No samosa for you! Okay, well, there's 2 games today, all right. Let's get straight down to business. There's 2 games happening today. And luckily, in the first one, there is no rain. I mean, it's Chennai. They wouldn't mind a little rain because even if it did rain, it would probably dry up only in about 4.5 seconds.
It would dry just before it landed. It wouldn't get to the ground.
It's good. I'll tell you something. I saw a reel yesterday, Lisa. It was hilarious. It was in Chennai. There was a guy who, on a scooter, the leather seat on the scooter, and he actually took batter, made a dosa, and he cooked it on that.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't.
We do that back home in Australia in the outback. You can fry an egg on your car.
There you go.
So a similar type thing.
It's a bit like, what's the most oppressive conditions you've played in? I mean, here I think it's like 40 feels like 60.
Yeah, I think for me, it's been either Chennai or Sri Lanka. So it's that humidity, right?
Yeah.
The heat is there, but it's the humidity that just saps all your energy out. You don't mind dry heat, which you can get in Perth, South Africa, Australia, but the humidity kills you.
I throw cochin in there.
Cochin, yes.
That was proper. Yeah. It's one of those grounds, like there in Chennai, is you feel like water on your face and you turn to have a look and see if it's raining. It's just the guy who's sweating next to you.
Oh, gee, dirty.
Horrible. One thing though about the Chennai ground is they've got a few like ventilation points in there, right? And being so close to Marina Beach, it's really just very small respite. But what you do there is, if you win the toss, you say, we'd rather bake 2 than we bake 11, right? That makes more sense. And that's what Rajasthan has done. They won the toss and they've chosen to bat. Yeah, I mean, just weather is reason enough to do that, right?
Yeah, and also the surface and how dry it is. Our mate Harsh is over there and he said they literally put the hessian back on the pitch because it was drying out so much because it was getting baked to try and protect it because they probably don't want it to be too dry and then take spin very early and you get a really low score. See how I'm psychologically just putting numbers in his head? So
On behalf of Sayami.
Yeah, correct.
Listen, today, I just want to, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Today we only have one mission. To get
Yes,
Shaun
Polly.
Pollock off the mark.
Get me off the mark.
You got to get him off the mark.
Gosh.
Sorry. So you say
but
you didn't want it to dry out too much.
So yeah, absolutely you want to bat first. Score as many runs and then you let your spinners and your seamers bowl a lot of cutters and you can potentially defend.
But Chennai have been complaining about the conditions, haven't they? Because this pitch hasn't quite been what they used to. It hasn't been slow. It hasn't been holding. Big scores have been accumulated. And also they've been worried about the dew. So at least that should be taken out of the equation, the dew tonight. And I think from all reports, that pitch is more like the proper Chennai pitch.
Well, if it is like the proper Chennai pitch, yes, Chennai likes playing there, but Rajasthan won't mind it too much. They've got two of the best in the business in Chahal and Ashwin. And Ashwin, of course, this is his ground. This is his home ground. He's grown up here. So, I mean, without assistance, he is brilliant. So with some assistance, knowing the conditions, well, if those are the conditions that Chennai has made, then we're sure that Rajasthan won't mind it too much. We'll look at the points table and tell you why this game is important. A little more for Chennai, but important for Rajasthan as well. They may be on top of the table, but with Kolkata qualifying last night, Lisa, Rajasthan would want that queue ahead of their name, and we can't harp on enough about how important 1 and 2 is to finish qualifying.
Yeah, that too, and the fact that the last 2 games they've lost. So this is probably the wrong time to start a new habit of losing.
Yeah. True.
So you want to get that queue next to your name. Yes, top 2, we do know the advantages. But they have been the standout side throughout the year. When you look at the 3 losses, 2 losses are really close. 1 last ball.
Yeah.
The last game against Delhi was probably the only one where there was a significant loss.
Yeah,
so they have
20 that.
Yeah. So they haven't done that much wrong. So you don't want to falter as you're getting to the finish line. You don't want to trip over the last hurdle.
True. It doesn't seem, though, anything worrying them. Like 2 of their losses, as Lisa says, last ball, one against Gujarat and one against Hyderabad was last ball. And then Delhi was a decent margin. But you haven't really seen any chinks in their armour, have you?
No, I think they've been pretty well balanced, haven't they? They've been consistent in their performance. They've got all the bowling options covered, and their batsmen in general have all contributed at times. I think the key for them now is, listen, let's qualify. And then once we qualify, let's make sure we get our 11 that's going to be playing in those qualification games on the park. Obviously, Butler goes home.
Yeah.
That's why this is a vital game for them. Get the qualification, get the queue next to your name, and then you can start tinkering with what the possible combinational replacements could be and give them a game, get a game under their belt, a bit of match time for them.
You play Tom, help me.
Collar Cadmore.
Thank you. A bit of a tongue twister. You'd want to get him in for a couple of games, much like with KKR if Phil Saul leaves. It's a really inopportune time to lose someone when you're top of the table and everything is working so nice. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for the results of the meeting to come. I thought you were at the meeting sorting it out for everyone.
I cannot confirm or deny any allegations at the moment.
You could tell us, but then you'd have to kill us, right?
Yeah.
I would, and I don't want to do that live on air.
Okay.
Even though, trust me, in India, we could probably get away with it right now.
I think the thing is they'll want to qualify and then they'll tinker.
Yeah.
I think, we were talking about maybe the last time we were together saying, well, hang on, maybe give Butler a bit of a break, and give Tom an opportunity to play not just 1 or 2 games before you get to the finals. Give him a bit of a run to get used to the conditions as well. Because after this game, Rajasthan go to their other home, Guwahati. So, again, different conditions. No one quite knows what they're going to get up there just yet. So, but I think they don't want to tinker with what's been working so well for them. So Butler, I would expect to be at the top of the order.
Here's the thing, though, right, which is really interesting, is that as a batter, I'm sure he wants to play every game, right? I think in one he was even an impact sub, so he sat out the fielding as well. So that's a sweet gig, right? You come back.
They don't object to that, yes.
Not at all, right? But I'm just saying his form has been interesting. When you've hit 2 centuries, you're like, I don't want to sit any game out. But otherwise, his season, it's a little strange. Like those 2 games, brilliant. And the other games, definitely, I won't say subpar, but I'll say sub-joss.
Yeah, I think once he's got into flow, look at the first 3 games, 11 from 9, 11 from 16, 13 from 16, strike rate nowhere kind of near where it needs to be. Then he gets at 100, he gets another 100, couple of good 30s, and then 19 in the last game. I think the key to him is he had that season where he was unbelievable. And if you remember the way he went about it, his process was, listen, I'm actually happy to absorb a few balls up front.
Yeah.
And then once I get in, I really catch up and I make people pay. And I think that might have been the initial thoughts in those first 3 games where he kind of looked at it and thought, well, give myself a chance. But then he gets out and he gets out and he gets out and he's like, okay, come on, I need to actually play proper here. So, yeah, it hasn't been as consistent, but what you would say from it is if he gets himself a start, he can definitely make you pay. And we know what the class player is. So the one game where he didn't field at all, he lasted 1 ball.
Yeah.
So I think he's like, no, this no fielding thing might not be a good a good scenario for me either. So let me spend a bit of time. And what I've noticed as the tournament's gone on, even last night with Rohit, what they do is they make the substitute like 2 or 3 overs before the end of the innings, just so they get in there, get a feel for it.
Yeah.
But if you're batting first, especially in Chennai, and if he hits a big knock, trust me, you're holding a gun up saying, I don't want to come into the
You are definitely tapping out, aren't you, if you get an opportunity. I'll take one for the team, I'll sit
But
out.
that's after you bat, that's fine.
Yeah, correct.
Not before you bat.
Not before, correct.
You're batting first. Though, I mean, just the counterpoint to that, we say that Tom...
Collar Cadmore.
Thank you. Should come in and play 1 or 2 games. But seeing all these youngsters, they hit the ground running. You see Fraser McGurk, you see Will Jacks. When they come in, they're like, oh, we don't need a couple of games. You just put us in and we're going to just bounce and start flying.
Yeah, he's kind of gone from like the Abu Dhabi T10, the PSL, but hasn't really set the world on fire there either. Like, I think his top score for the Pakistan Super League was 33. Abu Dhabi 69, not out off 19, which is a different tournament in itself, right? So it's not like he's flying high. I agree with you. These youngsters, they come in, they don't care. Yeah. Who are you? I don't know. Were you even born? Was I born by the time you made your debut? No. Yeah. All right, I'll take you down. So he'll come in, no doubt, play that type of game, and Rajasthan is the type of franchise that want that fearless type of cricket. So I just think conditions are different, right? You've got to give yourself just a little bit of time. So hopefully, no doubt, he's training hard and spending, getting the throwers in the franchises to spend a lot of time with him.
I'll tell you that there's probably half the players in this tournament who could perhaps say that to Amit Mishra. They could. And it would be factually accurate. Listen, I was born after you made your debut. And that would be right. All right, let's have a look at the teams and see what they've done. Any changes at all? We'll look at Rajasthan first. This, of course, is their batting 11. So let's pull that up on the screen. There you go. Dhruv Jurel is back, so he's okay. I'll tell you something. While we were talking about Tom, and we can discuss this later, it'd be a bad opening option as well. They're not really using him down there. Throw him up top with Yashasvi after Jos Buttler leaves. But anyway, that's not today. So Jaiswal, Butler, Sanju Samson, Riyan Parag, Shubham Dubey, Dhruv Jurel. Still no Shemran Hetmeyer. There's no Robin Powell. So they've got just the two aeroplanes. Yeah. So they can get a foreigner in when they come to bowl. Yeah, or they could... Sorry.
Yeah, the last game was Donovan Ferreira.
Yes.
He was playing there.
Yes. They have Robin Powell there, and they've gone back to what they were doing, Polly, early doors.
Yeah.
They had Robin Powell padded up in case they required him for batting. Otherwise, they would just get a bowler in. So we see Nandre Berger there, we see Keshav Maharaj. So they've got those options. And they're using the impact sub so well for all possibilities.
I think it'll be a shootout between Berger and Keshav Maharaj. I think what they'll do by batting first, have a look what the surface is doing, get the feedback. Is it stopping? Is it turning? So who'll be more effective? Will it be the left-arm spinner, or will the pace be the better option? So they've done it actually quite well. I mean, they can only use one of them, so they end up only going to be playing the 3 international guys, and that does tell a little bit about the guys they've given a chance. Hetmeyer, Donovan Ferreira haven't quite clicked, haven't given them the performances they've been after. Ferreira's only had the 1 game. He just lasted the 3 balls. But I think more along the lines of Hetmeyer, he hasn't quite answered that call as much as they would want from him.
And I was going to say the other thing on top of that is the Indian batters are doing the job. So Sanju Samson hasn't just started well in the IPL. He's been able to keep that run going. And the real story for them is Riyan Parag. Like almost a coming of age and repaying the faith where we were all scratching our heads the last few years going, why is this guy still in your squad? Why is he still in your playing 11? And he's repaid the faith now.
Yeah, it's about the correct position. Interesting thing to note there is they're backing their bowling a little more than their batting today, because they're batting till 6. If you see, Ashwin comes at 7, right? So usually they have Jurel coming in at 7. So they've gone with 1 batter short. So they're toying with it, right? The 5 bowlers have done the job for them, but today they've kept a provision for the 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a batter in, to be honest.
Depending on how well they go.
Yeah.
But see, what you do is you also kind of gauge things from a perspective of Chennai can be one of those surfaces where your top 2 or 3 can get the job done. And then you want the luxury of having the extra bowler. So they're kind of not making the decision until they have to make the decision. And if Butler fires and someone else fires, then they say, okay, cool, we'll give ourselves the luxury of having an extra bowling option.
Yeah.
Whereas if they don't, then we'll go with what we probably would have picked in the first place, would be the extra batter and get our bowlers to do a bit of a job.
See, this is the proper use of the impact.
Yeah, love it.
Not Rohit Sharma
Yeah.
having 20 overs off the field and just coming to bat. I think this is
14 overs.
14. Sorry, apologies.
He did feel for a few, yes. But you're so right. It's not just about giving rest to a player who's a surety. This is keeping their options open.
Correct.
So once again, Rajasthan using it really well. And of course, one of the bowlers come in. It depends whether you want the cook or the food. Maharaj or burger. Hashtag dad joke.
I see what you did. Lovely.
Hey guys, it's Mother's Day today. No dad jokes.
No dad jokes on Mother's Day. Sorry.
Okay, it was a mother's joke.
That's right. We'll do that now.
Because she can sometimes be the cook who provides the food.
That is also true.
Yes.
And it's always good. See, now I'm missing home now.
Oh.
My age is very difficult. With this beard, it's very difficult to pull that baby face off. But we'll look at the other team now. Let's see who they're taking on. This is Chennai, of course. They have just been so negatively impacted by their bowlers who are missing. But we have Tikshana, who's coming in here, so we can see what they think. But there is no Santner. So Santner has been replaced by Mahesh Tikshana. They have Tushar Deshpande, Simarjeet Singh, Shardul Thakur, who was great in the previous game. And then, of course, they have Ravindra Jadeja, Moin Ali, who haven't used much. Daryl Mitchell, who bowled 4 overs in the last game.
No,
Ajinkya,
not again.
Not again.
And I would think Ajinkya must be in the impact subs because he obviously batted at the top of the order in the last game.
He opened,
Yep.
yeah.
There you go.
There he is.
In terms of their batters, I guess you have Sameer Rizvi as well, middle Ajinkya Rahane, unless they have definitely told him, and we can't be sure of that because he's just not been having the best run, has he?
Jinx. Is that Jinx?
Hang on one second. We've just got news. Oh, it's not that big news. I made it sound like it's really big.
Breaking news.
It's breaking news. Dun, dun, dun. Ritu and Rachin to open is what the captain said at the toss. So Gaikwad has confirmed that him and Rachin will be opening. So it looks like if Mitchell comes at 3, it looks like they may just get Sameer Rizvi in.
Because he's batting at that, what,
Lower,
4, 5?
maybe, yeah.
He played that one knock where he hit those 2 sixes, but it's still, I mean, in the past they've used Ajinkya at number 3 and then tried to get him to go and play with a little bit more flair. But I agree with it. I mean, Gaikwad's your man, isn't he? So yeah. I didn't understand why they changed the opening partnership. Rachin, Ravindra, obviously it makes sense to get him in a left-handed option. But it didn't make sense to bring Gaikwad down to 3. Rather keep him up and then Ajinkya can change his role and try and play accordingly.
What is not made sense for me with Chennai this year is they never have these musical chairs going on as openers. This time it's like pulling your name out of a hat.
Yeah, they're not the Chennai of old in that sense. There's disturbances about Chepauk not being the pitch that they want, head curator kind of serving up something completely different based on what the squad that they've picked, each franchise owner kind of get to know their ground intimately and go, right, we need to win all of our home games. And Chennai have been able to do it for such a long period of time. This year, there's grumblings coming out of the camp, which you don't ever hear from them. So they're just not a settled bunch. And then you look at where they are in the ladder and you go, well, they're still like right up there, right? Like, how do they do that each year? Like,
They find a way.
They find a way, but things just haven't clicked, which is scary because if they do right now, teams will be fearing them because this is a side that knows how to win titles.
Yeah, I mean, they had messed around a little bit with the bowlers. Some have had to go for visas, injuries, commitments, all those kind of things. It probably hasn't upset that part of the combination as much as missing Conway at the top of the order. I mean, what he did last year, because I would have thought when they selected Rachin Ravindra, I thought brilliant, wonderful replacement. He'll do a great job, but he hasn't kicked on, has he? Run out in the last game.
This is the reason why this musical chairs is happening at the top, right? Because it's not working for them. And this is something that has worked for them previously. And you see Ajinkya Rahane and Rachin Ravindra both there. And obviously have not had a good tournament. They had enough games. Rahane's had 7, Ravindra's had 8. And the most successful opener is Gaikwad. So when he has to make way for these and come at number 3, that's what just seems so counterintuitive. Like this is this is not making sense. So I like the fact that he's clarified it right up front today so that Chennai fans don't go crazy for 20 overs.
Sometimes because Ruturaj is such a banker and has been for the last few years, they go, okay, well, if we slot him down and guys aren't going well, maybe it's a free hit, in the power play. But what it does actually do is then the opposition picks up an early wicket and then that lifts them. So when you think that you have an opportunity to give a guy a kind of a free hit, it actually does the opposite. It actually lifts the opposition because they go, yeah, early wicket, we get this guy in, away we go. So sometimes you're better off as the banker, just go at the front.
Especially when that free hit doesn't hit.
Yeah, correct.
There's one guy, and I'm a big fan, and I know the two of you are as well, and I just feel like they're not using him enough. I'm talking about Brother Moeen Ali. One of the best in the business. You've seen what he's done for Chennai when he's batted at number 3 and 4 previous seasons. This year, they just don't seem to be using him. It's almost like they get him in the 11 and then they forget.
Yeah, I mean, the strike rate, he's just had the 4 innings in his 7 matches.
Just 4 innings out of these, yes.
Also the bowling, he's not the kind of player that you kind of pick just as a batter. I'd be very surprised if you've picked Moeen Ali just to go and bat. But the amount of overs he's bowled has been limited. And as you say, there was times where they had the 1 innings in particular where I think they were 4 or 5 down. Dhoni came and crashed a few at the back end. And then they went out to field and there was Moeen Ali. And I thought, has he come on as the impact sub? And someone said, no, he's been there all along. Yeah. But he never got to the crease. So I do get your point. I don't think he struck as well as he did in the past. They did used to sometimes send him at 3 with a bit of a license to have a go. And that might not be a bad option tonight if it's a bit of a turning surface and you don't want to use a jinky and then put the other guy in at number 6. But slightly underutilised. And in general, I think the overseas batting professionals haven't done. I mean, Mitchell's started to kick on, but he was a slow starter. He didn't quite get up to the strike rate or put in the performances that they were hoping for him. So all those overseas guys that do bat, I think they want a little bit more for them at the back end of this tournament.
Because he was good in the last game against Gujarat. The early wickets fell and then he came in. He's got this beautiful bat swing, which is, there are just some bat swings which you feel are just drawn in heaven, right? Yeah. So he's got one of those bat swings. He was very good in the last game. He's not bowled that many overs. So I find it a little perplexing.
Yeah, hasn't bowled the overs, but I've been surprised of how Chennai haven't really used their spinners that much. I mean, you've got even Jadeja not bowling his full quota. Yeah. You had Mitch Satner in the last game only bowling 2 overs. But then you have Darren Mitchell bowling 4 overs. I'm there going, hang on, these guys are international bowlers that have gotten their countries over the line in pressure situations. And then you've actually got Rachin as well, who can bowl. Hasn't been, I don't think he's bowled any overs, or maybe he's bowled 1 or 2. So they, for whatever reason, they're not trusting their spinners or they're not going to their spinners. And I think today, if Chennai is served up the pitch that they know and love, then we should see the spinners absolutely dominate, and Moeen Ali should be bowling.
Yeah, I think the explanation has been that it hasn't turned and it's been due. That's why they haven't. But I also think the combination of Jadeja and Santner was too much the same. Yep. That's why the Tikshana kind of option looks a bit different and probably a better go-to.
So, I mean, because today, if it gives them some spin, they also have Rachin Ravindra Jadeja, Moeen Ali, Mahesh Tikshana. Suddenly seems like the Chennai of old, right? When MS Dhoni used to go with 24 overs of spin onto the field and just pick up what he wanted to from the buffet. And Rajasthan is batting first today, so it'll be interesting to see what the pitch does, and it'll be interesting to see how Chennai end up using their bowlers. We've got an Ask Cricbuzz Live question. We love getting questions from you. I especially got one which was asking for my ATM pin, not that one. But this one is good, from Avik Bose. Like England, shouldn't the core group of Indian players also take time out and regroup as a unit ahead of the T20 World Cup? Discuss.
I have said already on Cricbuzz Live that they should be given time to rest and recover, because the Indian players, just waiting, because it's a difficult 2-month block of literally flying around. I know there's a number of players that their teams won't have qualified, so they'll get a chance to have a bit of a break. And then to go overseas, and if the end goal is to win an ICC trophy, then you need kind of everyone to buy in. And this is the issue you have with T20 franchises that are owned by private investors, because they're going, we're not looking after Team India. That's not our job. Our job is to win the trophy. I get that.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But I just think this country wants India to win a trophy. How to best do that?
Also fair.
I think the only thing I would say about the argument is that the start of the T20 World Cup, you've got a big game against Pakistan, or first of all against Ireland, and then you've got 2 games against the US and Canada. So it's kind of a chance for everyone to regroup.
Relax. In New York. They're in New York for a fair bit.
Little walk in the park.
Yeah. So
I mean, Central Park. That's what I meant. You walk around Central Park. Enjoy the trees.
So I do get. I mean, ideally, what you would do, but I don't think there's ever an ideal situation with the schedule when India's involved. I mean, there's always so much on the go. I mean, they can sometimes send second-string sides just to cover certain fixtures. You understand the pressure of it, and for some of them, I mean, in fact, the ones that are eliminated, you can maybe play them in the first game because they'll be resting from the 19th.
True. And look at it. Rohit, Virat,
Bumrah.
Surya, Hardik, Bumrah. You're okay. Yeah, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. It's Bumrah and Surya.
Oh, so you've eliminated RCB, have you?
Oh, come at me.
You didn't know that. He was like, oh, did I? Oh, yes, I did.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. Because 2 spots are taken and the other 2, But I'll tell you something, by the way. Something interesting has happened though. I'll just talk about the second game for a second. The fact that Rishabh Pant has got a 1-match ban today, right? And the fact that Delhi was making a play for that top 4 spot as well. So the fact that Rishabh Pant is not playing today, that is advantage Bangalore. But it is raining. So if they get just the 1 point today, that means pretty much bye-bye for both teams. I just bring you the message. You interpret it the way you want to. I also just bring you the joy factor question, and you have to interpret it the way you want to, because much like many other things, I do not understand what he tried to say. Which cricketer playing in this year's league was the highest wicket taker and the highest run getter for his side in an under-19 World Cup final? Seems a little easier though, doesn't it?
Just the highest run getter. Stop
I love Lisa's face. First of all, just the optimism in you as a person, the fact that you're trying to decode it, because Polly and me have gone like, doesn't matter.
No, I'm really trying. I had breakfast with him and I'm like, I think I've started to unlock how you think. Maybe I haven't.
And just then he ordered a dosa with sprouts and you're like, no, I do not know you, you strange human. All right, if you know the answer, hashtag joy factor, hashtag Cricbuzz Live, send us a tweet or, send us one of those. Right now, we come to the most important part of the show. Do you have the...
Oh, yes.
Just have that ready. You see, now it's just every man and woman for himself and herself at this point. Polly, we want you to go first. I do not mean this.
You pick whatever number you want, whatever you feel.
I can't, the pressure.
Okay, well,
There's no pressure.
Okay, I'm going to go 187.
It is a very good guess.
Very good guess.
You could win today.
Yeah,
I think
that could be me. And you guys make sure you give me a big leeway.
Yeah, one.
So spread yourself either way. So
I'm going to go 179.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
What happened? What
Oh,
was...
I thought maybe it's Rajasthan batting, right?
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah, do you want collapse?
Yep, go.
No, I'm saying it's good for him because he's winning today.
Yeah, he's
That's
winning.
the winning number. We're just supposed to be like guards standing on his side. We're the Queen's guard. Right? That's what we are.
Okay.
We're beefeaters. Stand like that and don't move. All right, I'm going to give you a little more leeway on that side, and I'm going to sit at 202. All right? So you've got enough on either side. Shaun Pollock for the win. Come on. We got to...
Come on, Polly.
Come on, Polly. Come on.
I can feel the sympathy.
It's better than hostility, which usually accompanies this game.
Yes.
Right? So I think it's much better than that. Especially from a certain Mr. Harsha Bhogle, who is a nice guy, goes out of the room when this game comes out, right? Completely does. Can we just have a look at the thing. I want to see where Harsha is on that list because
He's above me and I'm not happy.
yeah, you're very close.
I know, I want to take him out.
You-
I don't care about anyone else. I just want to take him out.
You got so mafia for a second.
Sorry.
We're talking about hostility. This is like the Irishman. I paint fences. That's what I do. All right, that's all we have time for. We're going to go. We'll see you at the end of the 10th over with the Cricbuzz Combox. Just got to tell you once again, the game's happening in Chennai. Rajasthan has won the toss and chosen to bat first. Just before going, I'm going to show you their 11 real quick. This is their batting 11. They've used their impact player really well. They could get a batter in Robin Powell if required. They also have two bowlers, a spinner in Keshav Maharaj and a pacer in Nandre Berger in their impact list. They can get anybody in because they've only got two foreigners, so there's space. So they've covered it with the impact sub. Look at Chennai. This is their bowling 11. Plenty of bowling options. Yes, of course, there are missing. Some places, Pathirana missing. Mustafa Zur has gone back for national duty. Deepak Chahar is injured. But they've got Mahesh Tikshana in. So this gives you an indication of how they think the pitch will work because they've got plenty of spin options there. And of course, you've got the quicks as well. And who do they get in? Perhaps Ajinkya Rahane, perhaps Samir Rizvi. That'll be when they bat second. So, well, that's it. That's business for us. Big thank you to Lisa and Shaun. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. We'll be here with you all Sundays. So do join us late in the day. 2 games, of course, today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad 50 एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें